Bet. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Alright. Oh no. Alright, cool. We're streaming. So now we're back with the streaming. So that's good. Good. I'm going to shrink that. There we go. That's easy to get to. So now we're just going to pick up where we left off with the video here. And so basically a couple things I did while I was off of the stream. I grabbed some reference stuff. So this is kind of the vibe that we're going for. I made this a couple days ago for an event coming up in November. So we'll have a look at that. And this is kind of the style we're going for, but a little less excited. All right, so that's kind of the vibe that we want to hit with this, but a little more mellow. It's a clothing store. You're not supposed to be like super hyped. You're just supposed to be like, it's supposed to sell you on the fall vibe, the good, like it's for a good fall event, all of that. So we're gonna try and focus on that vibe there. I actually need to grab something from my mom in our text. Let's get it. There we go. Perfect. AirDrop. Let's turn on my AirDrop real fast. Okay, cool. It's already on. Nice. And what we're grabbing is just a logo for this video to go down in the corner so that we don't have to use as much branding. So one thing I want to do here, I want to change the word fall, which we put in last time. So last time, basically to catch everyone up, this clip here was, we put a warp stabilizer on it and a reverse so that it would play the same as the other clips in the same direction. This clip, we just kind of warp stabilizer and cropped. And then this clip, we warp stabilizer and cropped, but then we exported this right here so that we got the perfect size. We didn't have to worry about being off or guessing any of the frames. We just exported this exact section and we put it into the into After Effects, trimmed it up, and we came out with this. So now we have this, and we just put our words behind it and then put the background back. So that's what we're doing here so far, and we're gonna change these words right now. So I think I want to go with Apple Fest 20, nope, those, there we go, 2025. All right, that should be right. Perfect. So now what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna shrink it a little bit so that everything fits in. Let's pull it up. And I don't really care so much if it's like perfectly visible. We want it to be a little better than that though. No, I was trying to hit C for my cut tool, but I still had the text box selected. All right, go back to this. So I don't like that. And I don't like it because you can't really tell what's going on. So let's go here, select all of our text again. So I just double click that to do that. And I'm gonna pull them together some. So Apple Fest 2025. I tell you what, I still don't like it. So I don't know what it is I'm not liking. I'm gonna get rid of this 2025 because it's just not going to be shown. It doesn't matter. We don't need people sitting there trying to wonder why they can't read whatever the screen says. So this should be fine. You can kind of get the vibe of what it says through the different, like, it coming around and all of that. So we're going to leave that for now until I have a better idea. So we're leaving that. and then we're going to move on to the next part of this this particular little video. So I think what I wanted to do was, is this a accessory? Yeah, it's home stuff, accessory. So now we'll go back to a shirt, and I'm going to go to this green one here. All right. So let's try and find a good spot in this. So that wasn't it. Okay, well, I guess that's all I've got. Maybe, ooh, I did myself kind of dirty with this. I do not like that. It doesn't move easily. Like, it's kind of shaky. So it's going to be a little bit harder to do warp stabilizer with. So let's -90 it to get it to turn. Oh my gosh, look how crooked that is. Let's put it at, we're going to just throw it at 50 and then crop from there. Because we're definitely going to have to crop, because once I straighten this out, dead space. Oh my gosh, that's crooked, bro. Well, actually it's leaning a bit, so we need to go off the pole, keep the pole straight. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so still bad, but not as bad. Now we're going to crop in. We can crop into about, looks like in the bottom right corner there's a little bit of dead space at 60. So let's go to 61. That should be okay. Now let's see what that kind of looks like. Okay, I don't like it, but it's what we got. So let's drop the warp stabilizer on here and see what we can get out of this. Oh man, I'm tired. I drank a lot of coffee. Alright, cool. So let's see what this gave us. Yeah, that's actually, okay, that's not so bad. That's not so bad. I don't hate that. Try to move away so you don't hear me swallowing water. But anyways, I added some cool stickers onto here. I like it. Alright, so back to this. I think that's going the wrong way because that's pushing in. And we need it to pull out, I think, right? Yeah, pull out into the right, and this is pushing in into the left. So we are going to nest this, because remember, we can't do a we can't do reverse and warp stabilizer at the same time, so we have to nest it first. And then what we're going to do is go down here to speed and duration, and we're going to hit reverse and then hit OK. That's perfect. So now we'll go to this. So not the worst thing in the world, not my favorite. I don't love it. We're going to shrink this a little bit to there. Let's see if we can put, kind of go to here. Move this in. So now we've got it a little bit shorter even, but what I want to do is rotate this just a tiny bit because it looks like it's getting off a little. So even just to one degree is going to help us maybe some. So, and then we'll zoom in a little. Let's see here. So as it's going through, what we're going to do, we're going to keyframe it. So we need to keyframe both scale and rotation, because the rotation has to do with how we're cropping in. So let's go over to the end here, and the end of it, I mean, I guess that's right, but we're looking at the jacket. I mean, the pole is straight, but we're looking at the jacket, and the jacket just looks a little bit too crooked. So what I want to do, it's just because of the angle that we're at and the table and all of that. So I'm going to do that right there. And also, if when I hit play, if you're seeing the visuals kind of downgrade, it's because we've got our playback quality at 1/4, so it's not going to be as good. And we've got a lot of dead space here, so we could even do some words there. We can mess with some of that. So yeah, I think I like this, how that is. So now what that's going to let us do is kind of it's going to give us the keyframes to have it start and end kind of in the shape that we want. So I'm cool with it. The warp stabilizer gave it a little bit of shakiness, it looked like right there in the top left, but there's only so much you can do with warp stabilizer. It's a good tool, but it's also the bane of my existence. So I'm not going to mess with it. Applefest is okay, but maybe, I don't know if I want the orange here. So let's, because this isn't anywhere in the frame, so let's complement it by using this red here. And hopefully that's going to give us a little bit of like an apple color also. That's a pumpkin back there, but I mean it's kind of apple colored. So let's go with that. Let's go to V, and I think, yeah, I think I like that a lot more. And with the bag, it's kind of like a lipsticky color something, so it kind of goes with like fashion aesthetic, women's fashion, whatever. So we're gonna go with that a little. I am going to space these letters out just a little bit, or these words out just a little bit, so you can kind of tell they're not accidentally close, but it was intentional. So I like that. I like that. We're going to go with that. And I want to do something here. This isn't quite close enough, I feel like, so we need something in this. So what we're going to do is the same thing we did with the bag in the last episode. Can I call it an episode? Stream? Whatever the heck. We're going to shrink this down. We're going to save and do Command S. I need to open After Effects again, unfortunately. I closed it down because I thought I would be done with it. But we'll open it back up. And as it's opening, I'll explain kind of what we're going to do. So we could just take from the shot here, right here, we could just use like the whole thing and put this whole clip, this C with 3 zeros and then an 8, that whole clip into After Effects if we wanted to. But the reason we're not doing that is we need it to fit perfectly in this spot, because what we're going to do is we're using exactly these frames and cutting out just the jacket. So we need it to match the angle, the speed, all of that. So instead of doing guesswork and accidentally doing the wrong section, we're going to export only this right here, and that's what we're going to put into After Effects so that it works perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and export that. We made our in and out points the points that are our where our jacket is and all of that. So that's our in and out points, and we're going to range source in and out. Audio turned off because I don't need to export the audio, it's just the sounds of like me talking while I was filming. So we're going to go ahead and export that, and I should have looked to see where it was going. It should be going to the same place we exported earlier, I hope. Let's make sure this is all looking good still. Looks fine. Shrink that again. So perfect. All right, Command S. After Effects is still opening. Let's make sure that this went. Is this what we needed? How long is this? 2 seconds. That looks right. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because it's pushing in. Why is it? Okay, that's what I did, guys. So I accidentally exported this. I didn't export this. So let's click this. Let's click export. Yep, that's what I did wrong. That's why it looked off. Okay, so we're gonna rename this. We're gonna name it Needs Roto Green, because it's the green jacket. Now I know what it is. Export. Then we're gonna go in here, and I don't need this clip, so I'm just gonna. Okay, that scared me. I hit delete at the exact same time. I'm gonna delete that clip. I don't need it. Let's go back to this. Make sure nothing got deleted while I was doing that. I don't think it did. Cool. So let's shrink that. I don't use this front page. I don't know why it's there. Let's go to Project. Needs Roto Green. Perfect. Slow, pulling back. Perfect. So we're going to put that there. We're going to drop it into Composition. Now we're going to double click it. I don't know why there's so many steps to that, but there just is. Now we're getting the beach ball. There we go. Now we're going to hit the rotoscope tool, and I can't tell where it is because I shrunk it a lot. We're going to hold down Command and swipe up, it's going to give us a bigger brush size. Now I'm just going to kind of loosely paint around here, try and get what we want out of it, and then we'll go back and do some fine tuning as we need to. The good thing is I'm not worried about this foreground here, so let's just go ahead and include it. The only things I don't want in it, I don't care if the bag's in it, anything like that. The only thing I don't want is this belt rack right here and the ceiling. And of course it grabbed the ceiling anyways, but let's go ahead. We're going to just hold down Option on the Mac, and that's going to give us the negative brush tool to take away. We're going to do that there. Alright, so it took me a little too literally when I accidentally bled over some of these parts, and we're going to have to go back and add them in. But let's add these details first, just be sure everything works. Like I said, it came over, it grabbed this. Who cares? We don't need to cut that out. We just need this out. So we're going to zoom in, and we're going to start on this side. We don't want this stinking belt rack at all. So Control first, or Command, not Control. Command, shrink this, get it out of there. I don't want it. Get it out completely. Good enough. That's too small to notice. Same thing here. We're going to do that. And like I said in the last clip or last video, it's not about perfection. It's about as good as you're willing to do, basically. Like, it's never going to be perfect, but you need to give the illusion of perfection. So you don't want to settle for something that doesn't look good, but you do want to, you also don't want to waste all of your client's time, all of your time, trying to perfect the roto brush, because it's not always going to work out. And this will be a good example of it right here. See that? It didn't go stair step with every single one of the ridges on there. Same thing on this side. No one's going to see that. That's inconsequential. We don't have to have that part, because now this is a little different. We want to make sure that the white's not showing here, because it's such a steep contrast to this that it'll show on any letters that we have back here. So we do want to make sure that that's not there. But like, if it can blend in, if it can look the same, you can kind of get away with a little bit of like this little white fuzz piece of the jacket not showing would be fine. I'm going to bring it in anyways, but it would be fine. If the contrast on it isn't the worst, then you're okay. But you just want to make it look as good as possible without wasting your time, without wasting the client's time, and without losing your sanity, because After Effects can do that to you. It used to crash on me all the time. I'm so glad that it works a lot better now. But basically, we've done the rough outline of this. We're going to hit play. Let it play. Okay, maybe. There we go. Let it play. It's going to do its thing, trying to follow what we've gave it. And looks like it's doing a pretty good job. So everything that's not within our pink outline, we can put words over. Now I need to be sure I don't put words over this part of the purse, because the purse is within the outline. So I probably should have added that. It's okay. I'll just be careful in that area. So now what we're going to do is hit export, add to render queue. Over here you can see in the composition section we've got a nice display of what it's going to look like. So that's a good thing to have side by side. We're going to rename this. I'm going to rename it to needs words. Save that. Now we're going to change the settings from H.264 to QuickTime right there, and then change the RGB to RGB plus alpha. That's going to let us export as transparent. So we're going to hit render. It's going to go through. It's showing us what it's got. That beautiful sound effect that kind of jump scared me in the headphones. We're going to render that, and we're good. I almost never save those tiny little project files from After Effects. I probably, but I almost never do. So let's drag and drop this, see how it fits perfectly, just like what we wanted. I actually need to bring it up a layer, and that'll be perfect. And because there was no audio on it, if we had a song down, oh, by the way, I grabbed a song. I need to pull that in. I found this perfect little song. This guy named Jimmy Clifton, he's from North Carolina, really good artist, and he's got just a great like fall sound because he's from the mountains. So that'll be perfect for this. And he's singing about apple donuts, so perfect. We're gonna throw that in, and that'll be perfect because I don't really know the legalities of using music like that, but when it's on social media, you can tag the song. Like on Instagram, you can have your posts play with a song. So that's what we'll do. We're not running anything as an ad or anything like that. It's just social media posts. So I think it's within the legal realm of things. Anyways, so let's do something here. What do I want to put for the words on this part? Festive, fall, not a space, vines, exclamation point. Now let's do this in, perfect, there's green in this, so we're going to do it in green. Plus the green will give us the, there's green apples, so perfect. So now we're going to move this over. I'm going to click on my timelines that I'm no longer selected in the text box, and I'm going to click C for my cut tool and then get rid of that. So now I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to do it over here because if I try to make it bigger over in the effects controls, if I try to do that first, I try to do minor adjustments for things like that, or things like text over there, because it'll worsen the quality of them. So we're gonna just do this. Let's move it over a tad, and I want to try and match the same bleed from the top and the side. I'm not so worried about this side over here, but this side I am, because we'll just try to make it look as congruent as possible. Let's play that and see kind of what that looks like. Festive fall finds, not so bad. I'm cool with it. So we got Apple Fest, Festive fall finds. I do want to change this green to a little bit more of an apple green. Yeah, this is kind of like, what's it called? Coastal Carolina teal right there. So let's do, is that a little more apple green? Maybe. Not so much, really. We've got, to do that, we've got to do like, oh man, computer is running behind. Anyways, we're going to grab all of this, and I'm going to do a little bit of a lighter green. So let's come to maybe here, and let's hope it looks okay together with that green. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. That's not so bad. But I am going to size this up a little bit, because you almost don't get to read that even with the movement. So we are going to go here. I need the V. There we go. Hold down shift. Ah, crap. I forgot this text doesn't let me stretch. Dang. Alright, well, we're going to do that. I want to click all of this, and I want to add a little bit of spacing. And let's add a little bit of spacing. No! Dude, what's up with this text? Okay, there we go, there we go. That'll work. Eey. So that's a little much. It's kind of, nope, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. I'm cool with this. All right, let's drag our song in here. And let's see what we got here. So there was somewhere on here where it was talking about apple donuts. There we go. I miss apple donuts calling. That part. Let's go here. I miss apple donuts calling. It's down to hold my hand and bring me back again. When we were kids, God created us like this. All right, so that's probably going to be more than enough. We're at like 5 seconds so far on this edit. So this is going to be a pretty short one, unfortunately. I usually edit a little longer than this, but we're kind of trying to load it with some effects and things. So we're going to see. All right, let's see what this looks like. Alright, that's ow. This chair is not that comfortable, bro. I just found it on the side of the road and sanded it and painted it. The paint's actually pretty cool. I painted like a little Subaru on it. My Subaru. It's pretty dope. Anyways. Alright, let's do I'm gonna render this thing real quick. So that we're able to. So rendering it is just going to kind of solidify everything, help it catch up. And that's going to make it easier for us to play back and watch without it kind of doing that skipping around thing. And when it's not doing that skipping around thing, it just makes it to where you can actually see what you've edited so far and how everything works together. Okay, so thankfully, see, when we rendered it, we were able to watch it all the way through smoothly, which let us see that somehow what we've edited so far kind of perfectly hits on a beat, and the Applefest part comes up when he says apple donuts. Apple donuts calling. So I would like that to be a little more on the dough part. I'm not going to worry about it right now for this because this needs to get out. This needs to get out and be made today. So I'm not going to worry about it so much. And it's going to be a pretty short one too, it looks like. So we're going to go to the effects controls. We're going to click on our audio, go to volume, unclick our stopwatch because that's going to do a keyframe. And what we're going to do is I'm going to drop it by, let's try -5 first and kind of see if that helps with the audio. That actually helps a lot. It's a lot less loud. So we're gonna go with that. I'm cool with it. Now we have. So we've got our bag. We've got our. Why is bag needs roto needs to go away? I forgot that was in there. All right, we've got our bag. We've got our cups. We've got our 2 sweatshirts. I think all we're missing is the facial cleanser, facial scrub, facial moisturizer. I don't know what it is. And the final shot, which is this pull out from everything with the nice fall vibe. So, and we're probably going to do some rotoscoping with that as well. So yeah, because we have the logo for the business and all of that. So let's see if we can get this to match. I'm going to pull this over just a little bit And it's a trick just so that we're able to see, kind of line things up easier. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the opacity at, let's say, 60%. That'll probably be enough. Yeah. And then we're going to do our normal stuff, -90 to rotate it, 50 to crop it out. And now we can see kind of, we've got our, I'm pointing at the screen like you can see it. We've got our sweatshirt here, turned back on that layer, and we've got our makeup stuff, whatever this is, right here. So what we want to do is align it up as much as possible. So we're going to zoom in to, and we don't want to lose those shoes, because I just realized we didn't really get like a close-up of that. So we don't want to, yeah, we definitely don't want to lose that as a potential marketing point or sale. So this kind of looks like we're roughly in the right spot. So that's why we turn the opacity down. We'll turn it back up now. Okay, so that's something we couldn't see with the opacity, is we have a little bit of a gap there. So let's pull it over just a tad. Right there. That's perfect. So grab this, scoot it back over to where we need it. We can actually probably cut a few frames. Yeah, we can. So we can cut to really about right there probably. So we don't need that like drop off part. Grab this, move it over, drop, no, crap. Okay, just Command Z. I don't know why I panicked. Just always hit Command Z. Let's pull this down to there, and I'm gonna do unlink and delete our audio. We don't need that audio on here. We want the music audio, not the video audio. So this should be a fairly decent jump cut. Okay, so I'm kind of looking here. So we've got the collar, we've got the whatever that's called. It's not buttons or anything, but like the design here, and this is kind of center. Plus we've got the words here. So you're looking at the words on this side of the screen, you're catching here. And so when we're going to this, it's all the way over here. So I want this a little bit closer actually to the center, which I didn't think I wanted, but we're gonna do that. Let's try it. I think that's better. So if this is where we're looking, let's do a cross, kind of like our focal point. It's a little more to the side. No, let me pull it. Yeah, a little more to the side. I'm probably looking about there. Okay. I thought I was looking more in the corner of this when it jumped over, which would be like here. Maybe I am. Okay. Well, we'll go with that. I think this needs to rotate some. And that's going to give us a little bit more of a zoom. So it doesn't need to rotate quite at the beginning. It needs to rotate about there. So let's do scale. Nope, not scale. Well, I guess we could do scale, but it's fine. We'll just do rotation. Rotation. And then till about there, because this is really fine, the normal rotation. So let's try that. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I like it. So now what we're going to do, it's already going the right way, so we don't have to nest it and reverse it. We're just going to throw the warp stabilizer on it, let it do its thing. As it's doing that, we can go ahead and look through our finishing shot here and see what we like about it, where we want to kind of start it. So let's go to the beginning. Okay. Is that the only version of that I have? Oh man, I didn't realize that. There's no shot. I thought I did that a couple different times. I guess I deleted it. I must have just deleted them. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll make it work. There's not as much movement as I would have wanted. So we'll go here. And when does it start moving? Right about there. So let's do that. Let's drag and drop. I think this stopped moving. That's on the muted layer, so we don't need to worry about it. I think this is done. So let's go ahead and make this easier to work with. Let's drag this over to there, and we're not going to need past that. So let's go ahead and render it into out so we can see how everything's working together and just get the easiest look at this as we can. Okay, that was perfect. That little harp pull, that is a perfect transition. I guess it's not a harp, it's a guitar, but it sounds like harpy. All right, -90, turn it around, of course. 50 to zoom out. We're probably going to keep this one at 50 because the vibe of it. So, well, actually I'm not. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit, and then I'm going to drop this down because I don't like the dead space up in the ceiling. But this is good. Let's see here the transition between these. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yes. I love that. That's perfect. That is literally perfect. That's like the perfect ending. Dude, this song was so perfect. We're going to add a couple of seconds. We're going to add a couple of seconds to the song. Just to be sure that it ends at the right thing. Let's go to the 30 frames. So we'll go to dead on 11 seconds and see what it ends at there. Did that go to it? Is that up against it? There we go. Let's do that. Perfect, dude. Oh my gosh, that's so perfect. And we can just keep the logo there. So now we can go to downloads. Oh, I need this in there. I don't need it in this one. I say Apple Fest right there. I don't need it. Yo, I love this. This is so perfect. I mean, it's short, it's simple, it's not too complicated to make. I mean, it's super easy. I need to clean some of this out, bro. I've got projects from that. This is from that thing, the cutout. Got pictures of Jade being goofy and being my test subject. I don't need to load that right now. Which one is it this one? There's one where she's being funny. Yeah. That's so cinematic too, though. All right. Let's bring. Okay, that's the logo that we're going to be using. So let's bring it over into here. I could use it in this. Hold it there. Cool. Nope. You see how slow that opened? Gosh, it's terrible. All right, let's open Premiere. Oh my goodness, my computer. All right, it's not made for all this hard, heavy-duty working. Actually, I mean, I guess it probably was made for it, but they just don't do it so well anymore. I've used it too long. All right, so we're just gonna actually, I shouldn't have put it on the timeline. We're just gonna keep it over here, and then I'm gonna throw the warp stabilizer on this. And what we can also do, and we might do, is slow this down a little bit, because it was shot at 30 frames. We can slow it down just a tiny bit. Let's go ahead and pull these out of the way. I don't want them there. This one lines up perfectly with the warp stabilizer though. That's cool. All right, so we're getting what we need out of that. Where can we have our logo? We could have it throughout the whole thing probably. We'd have to rotoscope everything though, and it would look a little out of place probably. So we're not going to do that, but we can definitely have it here at the end. So all of this space here, we can have it behind that, in front of this, in front of this, in front of this, behind these shirts. Jackets, shirts, whatever they are. So that's probably what we're gonna do. Let's just double check this. I don't know how I feel about that. Because it rotates. I don't know. I'm gonna go with it because, like I said earlier, this needs to be exported. It needs to get out and be used. So we're just gonna leave it and go with it. But it's not the worst thing in the world. We're gonna name this one Ending Roto. And stream project perfect. Audio's turned off, export it. And I mean, it's not ideal the way that it twists kind of like that, but you know, it's okay. I don't hate it. And people probably won't think much of it, but it's not exactly what I would have liked. But it does kind of go with the camera movement a little bit, and well, I can't complain about that too much. So let's go ahead and delete these. Yes, I know. Delete them. All right. So that's why I said I don't save them. I just use the same project files, project windows to just make whatever I need to make. When it comes to the rotoscope stuff, sometimes it'll bite you in the butt. Sometimes it doesn't. So we're going to put this here. Drag this over. Same thing. Double click. Same workflow here for all of this. And now what we're going to need to do is rotoscope select stuff. So let's just start here. Get this mannequin top. I don't want that little flower thing. It's not a flower, whatever plant, fuzzy plant thing. It might have a hard time with this mannequin because the cream colored jacket and the white colored mannequin neck, I almost said head, there is no head on that mannequin, are really similar to the column. So it might make it difficult on the computer to differentiate between what needs to stay and what needs to go. Same thing with right here, that it looks like maybe a hat or something in the background of behind that black mannequin, and it might piece that in with it. So let's see. Or it's gonna just pretty much not do anything I needed it to do. What the heck? That's crazy. All right. Option. Let's do this. Just give it a rough outline, because I just did all of that. I probably should have. I don't actually know if you can start with the negative brush or not, but I maybe should have tried it. Come on, don't do that. All right, not so bad. Now I need to add all of this in. Everything down here needs to be in. So all we want to cut out is the ceiling and the pole. Some of these little details that I'm adding right now, they don't necessarily matter so much. There's not going to be words down there. Alright, so now let's do a little bit of refining. We can shrink this a little. Let's put it there. Let's make sure we have this shoulder in. Come on now. Option, not command. Do that. Yeah, that's good. That's working. I can't tell. That looks like part of the sleeve, so I'm going to leave it. It's safe to assume on some of the things, like you're not going to ruin your video because that might not be the sleeve. So it's all good. This part might be difficult because I can't really tell what's a highlight and what's part of the wall. Do that. Okay. Shrink this down here a little bit. Yeah, I'm good with that. It actually did a pretty good job deciding what was the wall and what was the mannequin. I'm surprised. I'm actually pretty surprised. Probably because the shadow here with that, it probably figured it out from there. Because it, like this, I almost missed that myself. It blends in really well. Let's add that there. No takeaway from this shelf, because like I said earlier, if it doesn't have the right contrast, it's going to look, or if it does have too much contrast, it's going to look out of place on your words. So we definitely don't want that for this part, because this is going to be the ending part. There's a little bit of a longer shot. So this is what I was worried about it mixing in with, but it actually did a good job. All right, let's take that out. Add this to it. Come on. All right, now let's subtract to there. Is that gonna work? It worked all right. That's pretty good. And let's subtract this little right angle. Perfect. That's perfect. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. So now let's hit play. Let's let it kind of do its thing. Let's just watch over it, make sure it's doing what we need out of it. Luckily, this isn't the most heavily moving shot of the whole thing. So, you know, not going to be too hard for it to hold on to our edges there, hopefully. Come on, please go faster. Is your comp feeling a little sluggish? Click the snail icon to reveal the comp profiler and identify layers that might be taking longer to render. That's cool. I wish After Effects and Premiere and like Lightroom and Photoshop and all of that were like made by the same developers and not just the same company, because they all have like something that the others should have. Like After Effects has things that Premiere should have, Premiere has things that After Effects should have, vice versa. But all right, there's a little bit of like a mistake up here that I want to fix, because that's where like our words are going to be. So we're going to do that real quick. How we're going to do that is I'm going to find my cursor wherever it went. There it is. Zoom in. And then we're just going to scrub through until we find the spot that starts at. Oh, right there. So it's coming up with this. So Option, subtract. Sorry if you heard that. I just hit the mic or kicked it. Come on now. There we go. It looks like it might have fixed it. So usually that's a good thing about it too, is like, well, mostly fixed it. If you do catch it early enough and you go to the right spot, it'll re-render it with you like in real time, and it will fix your problem. So looks like that's pretty much what it did here. Let's just be especially sure. I think I picked that especially sure. I don't know if that's like an actual phrase or not. I think I picked it up from my buddy Avalon. He used to say especially in front of everything when we were younger. But I don't know. Come on now. Load, please. Right, telling some of these stories, I feel like that guy, that one meme of the cooking guy. Okay, there's a couple of spots on the right side that might need to be fixed a little bit. No, I'm going to make the decision to say they're okay. Because, no, don't save. I don't need to save this. Because, I'm just going to be kind of careful of my word placements. So that so I can kind of avoid some of those little glitchy spots, because overall this is what I wanted out of it, and I don't need to spend a bunch of time trying to change parts that aren't going to be in it. So let's do RGB plus alpha. Okay. Change the wording of this to words, save, and render. Awesome. Shrink it because we might need to come back. Probably not. We're on the end of our project anyways. Let's go back to this. Grab ending words. Fits perfectly. And let's pull this up. It's actually not going to be words. I forgot about that. It's going to be this logo right here. So you can see we need to resize it, but you can see that it's back there. And yeah, this will give us a little more grace even because it's not a it's a transparent logo. So a lot of the stuff that might have been cut out on words are not going to even be there anyways. So let's shrink it a little bit more. And let's pull it to a side so we can see it a little better, I think. I like that more. So let's go ahead and render the whole thing. And let's watch all of it together and see how we like it. I don't know why my voice is so cracky today. It's driving me a little crazy. Okay, so that like glitching that the audio is doing is not going to be baked into it. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. Okay, so that that glitching that the audio is doing is not going to be baked into our footage. It's going to be it's just because we're playing it in the playback window. It's not exported, it's not finalized or anything like that. So it's kind of just having trouble keeping up. I'm not liking what's going on here. Sorry, I kicked the mic again. What if I do like just this? Steer South Trading Post up there. I like that more. I like that more, but I want it down some, so let's put it like right there. So that means we need to create a mask. So let's do a free line mask, or whatever it's called. I don't know what it called it, but we're gonna go up to here. Luckily this has pretty easy angles. There's nothing real round that we have to cut out or cut around, so it should be pretty easy to do. Perfect. So we just created a mask, and so it gets rid of everything that's on the outside of it. And bring me back again. I miss apple donuts calling us down to hold my hand and bring me back again. I like that. That's a cute little video. It's 11 seconds long, so it's not going to be too much on your audience or your customer base. It's got a good little song in the background. It's kind of giving that, it's giving a vibe, and that's what we're trying to sell, is the vibe. We're trying to sell the fall feeling, and not necessarily the like that's what you want people to come in for. Like, oh my goodness, like this feels like fall. I want to be a part of fall. Because I know for me personally, like the coffee, that's a good example. So like the coffee, pumpkin coffee I made this morning, and I was drinking, like, I haven't drank coffee in forever, but I've been drinking coffee because it feels like fall. So and I don't want to miss out on fall. So that's kind of what you want to grab, is like you want to be able to add to people's happiness of the season. So that's even what the song is saying about. He's saying, I miss apple donuts, I miss all these things that feel like fall. And so that's what we want to add to. We want to give someone those fall memories. So yeah, basically that's what we going for. Is that still running? I didn't even check. Oh yeah, it is. Oh, we're almost at an hour again, but that's perfect. So we pretty much finished this, so let's export it. We got to remember to turn audio back on, and we're just going to call this fall display underscore 10 16 25, and we want to be sure. Okay, actually I'm gonna copy this, go back to the edit tab. I forgot I need to make sure that my out point is at the end of the song there, so it's at exactly 11 seconds. We're gonna hit export. Now we're gonna rename it. That's why I did the copy, not just Command V to paste it. Audio is still on, everything looks good, and export. I'm just gonna let it export, and that's perfect.